Hello, everyone, and welcome. Lewis here with The Hit Life, where we bring you news, interviews, and more from all your favorite Southeast regional MMA promotions. Today, we're getting to know Ryan Rax Arquette, who's coming off of a victory at Combat Quest 23 and fights out of Kaizen MMA in Tampa, Florida, under Coach Vince McGuiness. Hello, Ryan. Welcome to The Hit Life.
Going on? How are you?
Great, thank you. How are you feeling now, 1 week after the fight?
Feeling good. Got back in there on Wednesday. It's back to work, head down. Enjoy the process again.
You won with a second round submission victory against a really tough opponent with a purple belt. What was your game plan going into this fight?
Game plan was make sure he knew I was there when I entered the pocket and be a ghost when I wanted to be. Go in there, put the pressure on him, stay in his face, get after it.
Was there anything that surprised you about him?
He was strong. He was strong for that first grappling exchange, but started to get the wind, the lactic acid in his muscles. That's when I started to feel like I could win the grappling exchanges without using a lot of effort or stamina.
Yeah, in the first round at the beginning, he did have you in a rear neck naked choke there. At any moment during that, did you feel like it was already over, or how did you feel during that?
Nah, my Coach Vince McGuiness, one of the best coaches in Southeast, all of Florida. That man had me extremely ready, extremely confident. We had gone over that situation hundreds, if not thousands of times, and I felt very comfortable. There was never a time where I panicked or was like, oh shit. I knew what I had to do, and I think I executed it. I could have done it a little bit better. There were some mistakes, but always something to learn from.
What kind of mistakes did you make?
When I would pummel back in against the cage and go from over under to double unders, I should immediately get him against the cage, turn him around, or get to open space. And there were a few times where I pushed him off, and instead of having my back to open space, I started to strike with my back to the cage. So he just pushed me right back into the cage and had the control time. Little minor discrepancies.
Based on topology predictions, you were going into that as the 5-1 underdog. Did you feel that way going into the fight?
Doubt me now. Doubt me. All I gotta say.
Let's talk about your background. When did you start combat sports?
Let's see. Under Vince McGuiness about 2 years ago. Before that, it was just something I did in high school. Like I would leave school early and go and hit the bag, like middle of the day around 12 o'clock. I didn't really start training or want to fight until probably around 18 years old, 19.
Okay, so it was just a hobby. You weren't in wrestling or anything like that growing up?
No, I was not.
And you said you found Kaizen MMA a couple years ago?
Yeah, I believe not this past August, but the one before that.
And what drew you to combat sports?
The aura of it all, the glory that the hard work will eventually show, right? The work never lies. It's always about who's going to work harder, who's going to be more consistent, who's going to believe in themselves more. That's what drew it. That's what drew me to it.
And you weren't
mono on mono. Let's see who's the best.
You weren't involved in any other sports growing up?
Growing up, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so I played a lot of hockey. I played baseball. Was pretty good at baseball for a little bit, and then just kind of fell out of the love for it. Basketball, I played pretty much anything you could think of.
And then when you went to Kaizen MMA a couple of years ago, was your intention to go into amateur competition?
Yes. Yeah. When I spent the whole summer back home at the gym there training, and that was kind of like a boot camp almost in a sense. I had some like foundations, but it was all basically self-taught. On there and putting in 2 a days, 3 days, hitting almost every practice that I could. And that was like a boot camp for Kaizen because I came back and then Vince had a couple months where he had some fights. So like in February, he was taking on new athletes, and I remember I was in the ice bath, and I was like, "That's me." Like,
So Coach Vince McGuiness is known as being a kickboxing veteran. Do you train grappling at Kaizen as well?
absolutely, you got to be immersed in all of the arts. You got to be doing jiu-jitsu. You got to be doing wrestling. You got to be doing striking, and it's got to be a balance, right? Because if you're great at one, someone might be just as great at something else, and it's a game of checkers, or not checkers. It's a game of chess. I apologize.
Is there a different grappling coach at Kaizen, or are you training grappling under Coach Vince McGuiness as well?
Vince does have his practices on Tuesday and Thursdays. That's more of like an MMA class. We got submission grappling going on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Shout out to Alon Cruz because he got me ready as well for that fight. And got a bunch of wrestling going on throughout the week with multiple different coaches.
So the training with grappling you do there is MMA style grappling.
Yes, on at least on Tuesday and Thursdays with the fight team, we'll have and we'll be going over situational stuff, maybe something that Vince just saw recently and he's going to implement and wants us to start drilling, stuff like that.
Okay, let's go on to the next segment. This is quick hits. It's going to be a fun, easy question. Let me know the first thing that comes to mind, okay?
All
right. Walmart or Target?
Walmart.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Your favorite restaurant?
Chipotle.
What's your dream vacation?
Touring all across the seas on a yacht.
What's your favorite movie?
Conor McGregor, Notorious.
What's your favorite sport other than combat sports?
I'm gonna go with football because the Bills are killing it right now. I know you saw the render for the new stadium.
Who's your favorite music artist?
Lil Wayne or Ludlow.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Active right now?
Or retired?
Go with Mirko Cro Cop. Been watching a lot of him recently.
What's your favorite thing to do when not training or fighting?
Getting some recovery in. Body's always broken down, so that's usually how the time is spent. It's either training or recovering.
Yeah. All right, that's it for quick hits. Is there anything else you want to tell the people watching?
Go check out my teammate Stephanie Calderon. She's fighting. I don't know the date. She's fighting real soon. Got Brandon Lopez fighting for the CFFC, and we got Alon Cruz fighting for Fury, and I believe that's a main event. So definitely check that out. All of them are going to be fireworks. Anything Kaizen does is going to be fireworks, and I can promise you that.
You looked great. When do you think we'll see you fight again?
ASAP, hopefully. Early quarter.
Okay. There you have it, folks. Ryan Rax Arquette, 2-0, undefeated. Keep your eye on him and make sure to follow him on Instagram. Thank you so much for doing this, Ryan.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
I dropped out of school, started selling dog food, kept the biggest pistol even though I was a small dude. I get your block, huh? 50 shots out this AK, you diss on my name, you get smoked on the same day.